Good morning students. Welcome back to online class section of Analog Communication. This is Aisha Sultana, Assistant Professor of ISL Engineering College from ECE Department. So in last class we have discussed about vestigial sideband. I hope you people remember about that one. So till now what we have seen, different kinds of modulation techniques. First we have come with amplitude modulation. Then we have seen our DSPSC, double sideband suppressed carrier. What are the drawbacks which you have occurred in your amplitude modulation that have overcome by your DSPSC? Then again due to some power problems or the drawbacks due to power which is completely consumed by your carrier, we have gone for the SSB, the single sideband modulation. Then lastly we have seen your vestigial sideband, where your one of the sideband is transmitted along with one more sideband, a part of a vestige of your another sideband, where you are not going to lose any kind of information. Thus, that was about your different kinds of modulations that we have seen in your analog communication, right? So today we are going to start a new topic, that is modulation schemes or the modulation techniques for the generation of your amplitude modulation. That is nothing but conventional modulation. So generation or the modulation for your amplitude modulation. Here we are having two kinds of techniques. To the device which generates your amplitude modulated signal or the amplitude modulated wave, that is called as your amplitude modulator, and there are two devices which are used for generation of your amplitude modulated waves. Okay, there are the two devices are your square law modulator and switching modulator. See, we have seen that amplitude modulation wave is there, where your message signal, what is actually modulation? Superimposing of your carrier signal over to the message signal. Now what is amplitude modulation? Your carrier wave is moved in reference to your message signal. It is varied in accordance with your message signal. Okay, which value is to be varied? That is your amplitude value is to be varied. So the amplitude of your carrier signal is varied in accordance with your message signal. That we have seen, but we have to see how actually it is generated. So as to generate your amplitude modulated wave, we are having two techniques, that are your square law modulator and switching modulator. Today in this class we are going to see the modulation schemes for generation of your conventional amplitude modulation. The very first kind of modulator, what is modulator? The device which generates your modulated signal. Okay, so the modulator, the first kind of modulator is your square law modulator. Here in the square law modulator, there are three steps which are required for generation of your AM wave. The three steps are a means to add up a carrier and modulating wave. You said you are having the modulations. Okay, modulations is nothing but you have to add your carrier signal as well as your message signal. So what we require, the first step to require for this generation is you need a means of adding a carrier as well as the modulator. Means that you require a device that adds your carrier signal as well as the message signal. That is the first one. Okay, the first step. Second step is a non-linear element should be there. Because of this non-linear characteristics only we are going to generate our AM wave. So the non-linear element here we will be having, like for example diode or transistor, but I am considering only diode here. Okay, so the square law modulator, first step what you require is, first step is you need a means which adds your carrier as well as the message signal. Second, you require a non-linear element, that is a diode. And thirdly, you require a band pass filter to extract the desired modulated wave. Okay, to extract your original signal. Okay, these are the things that you require at your modulator side. Modulation means where you are generating, means you are getting a modulated wave. Original signal you are not going to generate. This is all about your transmitter part only. This all thing which will be done at the transmitter part only. Demodulation means that will be going at your receiver end. So at the transmitter end only we are going to do this modulation. So three things we require for the modulation. Okay, to generate a signal, AM signal. First is to means that is required to add up your carrier signal and the message signal. Second is a non-linear component or the element you require, that is we are using here diode. And third is a band pass filter which is extracting the desired modulated wave. Modulated wave means it is having both carrier as well as the message signal. So desired desired modulated wave has to be obtained. So for that one we required a band pass filter. So these are the three requirements that we are used in your square law modulator. Okay. Next, see here, this is the block diagram of your square law modulator. As I have said, there are three steps. First step is we require a means here we are having a summer which adds your message signal as well as your carrier signal. This is M of t, and your carrier signal is AC cos 2 pi FCT. Clear? So this is the first step we have got. After this, the first step, the means to add a carrier and the modulating one. Okay. The second one, we require a square law device. What is this device? Non-linear element. We are using a diode over here. So this is the second thing, and the output of this one is given to a band pass filter to extract the desired modulating wave. So these are the three steps requirements, and this is a block diagram how we are going to prepare your square law modulator. Okay. So what we are doing, the first step, let the modulating wave and the carrier signals which are denoted as M of t and AC cos 2 pi FCT, and that's two signals are applied to your inputs as these two signals are applied as inputs to your summer or an adder block. Okay, this summer or the adder block produces this output, and that output is given as your V1 of t. Okay, which is the addition of your both message signal as well as the carrier signal. Clear? So three blocks we are having. First, the adder block which adds your message signal and the carrier signals. The output of that adder or the summer block is given to your square law device, and the output of that square law device is given to the band pass filter as to generate the desired modulated signal. Clear? Next, see what actually we are having. We have said that this V1 of t is the combination or the addition of your message signal. So M of t plus AC cos 2 pi FCT. This is the output of your summer or the adder block. Now this signal V1 of t is applied as an input to your non-linear device, that is nothing but to your diode, and that diode characteristics I'll show you here. In case if you're not getting, please let me know. I'll give the notes for that one also. So this V1 of t is equals to M1 of t into AC cos 2 pi FCT is the first output that we have got from the summer. This V1 of t is again given to your which one non-linear device, that is nothing but your diode. So what are the diode characteristics here? I have given the note that when you are considering a non-linear element, the characteristics of that non-linear element are given as K1 into Vi, this is output V0, the amplitude output V0 is equals to output voltage K1 into Vi plus K2 into Vi square plus K3 into Vi cube. This is how you will be seeing for the number of elements. I will consider only the first two elements only, that is K1 into Vi plus K2 into Vi square. If I go on for for the four elements, if I consider K3 into Vi cube plus K4 into Vi to the power of 4. So that is the how we will take the characteristics of your non-linear device. So what I am going to consider as to get your AM wave, for simplicity I am considering only these first two elements. Okay, what is the output word you have got? V0 is equals to K1 into input is your, this is your input of your modulator, isn't it or not? You are getting the output here. This is Vi of t, this is the output. V2 of t is equals to here this is the input, this is Vi of t. Vi of t is what? Your V1 of t. So I'll apply it as V0 is equals to K1 into Vi of t plus K2 into V1 square of t. These are the inputs what we have considered, where K1 and K2 are the constant terms, and this V1 of t we are substituting this value from this equation 1. You have to substitute the value of V1 of t in the equation 1. I hope you are clear with this. First, what you have to take the modulation, first message signal and the carrier signal has to be added up, and that is given to your non-linear device, that is diode. We are seeing the non-linear device characteristics. These are the non-linear characteristics. I have taken first two components only. Now we have to substitute the value of V1 of t into your equation 1. So what will be the output for that one? V2 of t is equals to K1 into, what is V1 of t? Combination of your message signal as well as your carrier signal, that is M of t into AC cos 2 pi FCT plus k2, this here you are having this k2, v1 square of t means what is this v1 square, m of t plus ac cos 2 pi fct whole square. So here also we are substituting the value of v1 of t, and what you are getting here, m of t plus ac cos 2 pi fct whole square. Now see, for this one I am separately multiplying and giving it as k1 m of t, correct, plus k1 into ac cos 2 pi fct. This was your first term or the first variable. In second term, what you are going to see here, m of t and ac cos 2 pi fct. These are two separate variables. Isn't it the formula of a plus b whole square? This m of t is your a and ac cos 2 pi fct is your b. So this is a plus b whole square formula. What is a plus b whole square formula? A square plus b square plus 2ab. Now do the same thing. What I am doing here, see, this is k2, I am multiplying. What is a square? M square of t. This is a, okay. Now what is b square? K2 into ac square cos 2 pi fct. Correct? This is b square. Now 2ab, a square plus b square plus 2ab. What is 2ab, ma? 2, this 2 you are having, k2 is the constant term variable which I have got, m of t, this is m of t into ac cos 2 pi fct. This is b value, this is a value and this is your b value. Correct? Are you clear? The second term I am substituting the value of your a plus b whole square, that is a square plus b square plus 2ab. Okay? Now you see what are the common terms. K1 into m of t, that is okay. Now k2 into m square of t, okay. I am separating all the values. Now k2 ac square cos 2 pi fct, this is the third variable. Now what I am doing, I am substituting, taking common the term ac cos 2 pi fct, because I am having ac cos 2 pi fct here in this formula also, where you had 2ab. I am having the value of k1 ac cos 2 pi fct. So what is the common term over here? AC cos 2 pi fct. So I am taking out the value of AC cos 2 pi fct. What I will get? K1 is also I am taking common. So K1 AC, this is K1 AC, that is common 1. Again I am having cos 2 pi fct formula here also here. So this common, whole common I am taking. So K1 AC cos 2 pi fct I am taking common. I will get in brackets I will get 1 plus 2K2 divided by K1. Yes or no? Where K1 will be cancelled. Obviously you will get the formula of 2K2 m of t into cos 2 pi fct. Yes? Clear? If you are not getting it, please ask me once again, I will explain you for you. Okay, now what I will get, K1 will be cancelled. So what I am considering it as 2K2 divided by K1 into m of t cos 2 pi fct. I hope you are clear with this step. What I am taking common term here, K1 AC cos 2 pi fct I am taking common. I am giving it as 1 plus 2K2 same here divided by K1, because when again if you multiply you will get cancel this numerator and denominator. So obviously you will get answer as 2K2 m of t into cos 2 pi fct. So what I am doing, I am dividing it with the K1 into m of t into cos 2 pi fct. Now what is the thing next we are having? The last term what we are having here, this is similar form of your standard amplitude modulation wave. What is your standard amplitude modulation wave? Do you remember? That is AC of 1 plus Ka into m of t into cos 2 pi fct. That is the standard formula or the standard equation of your amplitude modulated wave. This is also similar. What we will do? Here see. What we are going to substitute K1 into AC, I will give it as AC. Directly AC. AC of 1 plus this whole term 2K2 divided by K1, I am substituting value with a Ka, that is nothing but amplitude sensitivity, into m of t into cos 2 pi fct. Clear? Is it the same function, the standard equation of your amplitude modulated wave? So now what about these other terms? First we had k m1 of t, k2 m square of t, kt a square cos square 2 pi fct. These are the unwanted terms which will be generated, and to remove this one only we are going for the band pass filter. So this band pass filter, what it does is completely neglects or completely filter out these unwanted terms. So I'll read it out for you. The last term of the given equation or the above equation what you have got is a desired amplitude modulated wave, and the first three terms These are the first three terms, right? These first three terms are your unwanted signals or the unwanted terms, and by using your band pass filter we can pass only the amplitude modulated wave and other three terms will be eliminated completely. So that's the reason we are using a band pass filter over there. I hope you are clear with the square law modulator. The very first thing is you need a summer where you are adding the message signal and the carrier signal. That message and carrier signal is given to a non-linear device, that is diode. To that non-linear device we are finding the characteristics and taking the term, doing mathematically, and we are getting the desired amplitude modulation wave equation, and the remaining extra terms which are unwanted terms that are filtered out by using your band pass filter. So this was the one of the technique to generate your what we call amplitude modulated wave or AM waves. This is the first technique. Now we will go for the second technique, that is your switching modulator. Now what is switching modulator? First was your square law generator, where nonlinear device characteristics were your square law generator. Now here we are having switching modulator. In the name itself you can know what we are going to do in this one. Okay, here in the switching modulator it is also very similar to your square law modulator, but the only difference here in this one is the diode is operated in non-linear mode in your square law modulator, whereas in your switching modulator the diode is operated as an ideal switch. Means on and off, on and off. On means you are going for the zero value or one value, sorry, then off means you are going for the zero value, then means you will get a pulse train over here. Yes or no? So what is the difference between your square law modulator and a switching modulator is, in square law modulator the non-linear element, that is your the diode is operated in non-linear mode, so that's the reason we get square values and all. Yes, but here in this switching modulator the diode is operated as an ideal switch. Here also what are the requirements that you people require? See here also block diagram you are also having same thing. Instead of your non-linear device we are writing it as switching diode, means an ideal switch diode. And what are the three steps we will be having? Your message signal and the carrier signal, they are both given as inputs to your summer, where it will be adding up and giving the answer or the output as V1 of t, that is given as the input for your switching diode. The switching diode output is again given to the band pass filter. Why we are giving this output to the band pass filter? Because we don't want any unwanted modulated waves. We only require desired modulated wave. So as to get the desired modulated wave, the output of your non-linear element or the switching diode is given to the band pass filter, where it will be filtering out all the unwanted signals or unwanted modulated waves, and the output will be your amplitude modulated wave. Clear? So we'll see the step by step. So first again we are considering a carrier signal which is denoted as C of t and a message signal which is denoted as M of t. Okay, these two are applied to a summer or a adder block, and the summer block produces the output which is given as V1 of t, that is equals to M of t in plus C of t, that is equals to M of t plus AC cos 2 pi FCT. Now this signal V1 of t is applied as an input of the diode. Here the diode is acting as your ideal switch. Good. So what we are doing here, the diode is on and off action is completely controlled by your carrier. Yes or no? What are the carrier you are having? The carrier pulses will be continuous in terms of pulse train, right? On and off. It is going to the higher amplitude, you will getting as on, then if you are going for the lower it will be off. So all this will be controlled by your carrier signal. It means that when the diode will be operated in the forward bias when your carrier signal C of t is greater than 0. Okay, and it will act, this switch or the diode what we are using will be acting in your reverse bias when your C of t is less than 0. Okay, this completely based on your carrier signal. I hope you are clear with this one. Okay, now see what will be the output of your diode, the V2 of t. the switch from where you will be getting your answer. V2 of t is equals to V1 of t. The same output will be obtained when your carrier signal is greater than 0, or else it will be 0 when your carrier signal is less than 0. So the approximate output of your V2 of t is equals to V1 of t into x of t. Now you will get a doubt, what is this x of t? X of t is nothing but your periodic pulse train, or the pulses that will be generated, because we are using an ideal switch where you will be using the carrier signals which are completely controlled. So that's the reason we are going for your x of t, where x of t is your periodic pulse train and the time which is given as 1 by fs. So that's the reason we are using V2 of t is equals to V1 of t into x2 or x of t, and that is the equation 2. Okay, now see the mathematical equation. Now we are applying the Fourier transform or the Fourier series representation of your pulse train is given as x of t is equals to 1 by 2 in plus 2 by pi summation n is equals to 1 to infinity minus 1 whole to the power of n minus 1 divided by 2n minus 1 into cos of 2 pi of 2n minus 1 into fc of t. This is the Fourier series representation of your pulse train. We are using a pulse train over here because your x of t is a rectangular pulse train whose period is given as t, and its complete duty cycle is given in terms of t by 2. So this Fourier series representation of your periodic pulse train is given as this. And okay, and what we simply we can substitute this whole equation when you are applying n is equals to 1. If you apply n is equals to 1, then your series representation, Fourier series representation of your periodic pulse train will be given as applying n is equals to 1. Substituting, I am substituting n is equals to 1 here, keep it in mind. Okay, minus 1 into 1, minus 1 minus is equals to plus 1 divided by 2 minus 1, 1. So it will become as 1, and your summation is 1 to 1. You are applying the value of n. So what I will get the value, x of t is equals to 1 by t 2 pi cos b, it is whole, it is given as 1 cos 2 pi fct, 1 2 minus 1 again 1. So what I will get, cos 2 pi fct. Substitute the value of n, do the calculation, then you will get this answer. Again, if you are also then also if you are not getting, if you are having any doubt, please let me know. I will explain it once again for you. Okay, now value of 1, substituting the value n is equals to 1, then I'll get the Fourier representation of your periodic pulse train is x of t is 1 by 2 plus 2 by pi cos 2 pi fct, then minus 2, because I'll get a minus sign over here. You do the calculation, you'll get this answer over here. 2 by 3 pi cos 6 pi fct, and so on, you will be getting the answer. So what I have to do now, we have to get the answer V2 of t. V2 of t is nothing but V1 of t into x of t. So V1 of, what is your V1 of t? You will get m of t into AC cos 2 pi fct, combination of your message signal as well as your carrier signal. Now x of t is 1 by 2 plus 2 by pi cos 2 pi fct, and so on. So what I am doing now, I am multiplying it separately. M of t divided by 2 into AC by 2 cos 2 pi fct. Again what I will do, I will multiply this term with this one. So I will check which is similar to that of your, which one, amplitude modulated signal. So the first term of the, whatever the first term here in this one is similar to that of your desired AM signal, and the remaining terms whatever there are unwanted signals, and that unwanted signals are completely eliminated by using your band pass filter. So the output of your switching modulator will be AC by 2 into 1 plus 4 by pi AC m of t into cos 2 pi fct. Now I am substituting this value 4 by pi AC as Ka, where K is your amplitude sensitivity. So that the standard equation of your amplitude modulated wave is your S of t is equals to AC of 1 plus Ka into m of t into cos 2 pi fct. I hope you are clear with your switching modulator as well as your Which one? Square law modulator. So there are two techniques which are used to generate your amplitude modulated wave. Okay, let's just revise with all these things. How many techniques we are having for generation of amplitude modulation? We are having two techniques. First one is square law modulator and switching modulator. As to generate your amplitude modulation, we require three steps. The very first step is to have a summer or the adder to combine your message signal as well as your carrier signal. These both are combinedly given input as V1 of t your square law device. If you are using a square law device to generate a AM wave, then you have to use a non-linear device, that is your diode. In case if you are not using which method, switching method or the switching modulator to generate the AM wave, then what you have to do, it should be acting like a switch, okay, on and off. So that's the reason we are adding a pulse train over here, over in this switching law modulator. So first in the square law modulator, your both combination of your message signal and the carrier signal are given to your square law device, where it will be finding out your responses. The characteristics of the diode are similar and they are taken. You will take the first two terms, do the mathematical equation which is similar, the last term which is similar to your conventional amplitude modulated wave, that is considered, and the remaining terms that are filtered out by using a band pass filter, they are eliminated, because we need only desired amplitude modulated wave or the desired modulated wave. So the extra terms or the unwanted terms which are occurring, they are filtered out by using a band pass filter. So that's the reason we are using a filter, band pass filter, to eliminate the unwanted terms. Okay, that was your square law modulator. In switching modulator, what you are using? A switching diode is used. See, switching modulator and the square law modulator, they both are similar. The only difference we use in your the device which you are using, there we use the diode. Here we are using the diode as an ideal switch. Means the diode should be operating as an switch. Where the switch, what we say, the diode is on and off. This completely controlled by your carrier signals, and the forward which the diode is in forward bias, when the diode is in reverse bias, that is also controlled by your carrier. If the carrier signal is C of t is greater than 0, then it is operated, this diode will be operated in your forward bias condition. If the C of t is less than 0, then your diode will be operated in your reverse bias region. So we have to see the output characteristics of the diode, and we have to apply the pulse train to that one, because V2 of t is equals to V1 of t into x of t. What is x of t? Is nothing but rectangular pulse train whose period is t, and the duty cycle will be always 0.5 for this one, and t is nothing but 1 by fs. Okay, so now do mathematics. Now see the Fourier series or the Fourier representation of your pulse train. Actually this is the Fourier representation of pulse train. Now applying the value n is equals to 1, then I will get this equation. Now I am going to multiply my V1 of t, the output which is obtained from the summer, and the x of t, that is your pulse train, and I will get the desired AM signal. So this is how you are going to generate your amplitude modulated wave. So two techniques which are used to generate your amplitude modulated wave. So I hope you are clear with this topic. In case of any doubts, please let me know, and I hope every student has done the assignment. I'll check and give tomorrow how many students have completed their assignment. Okay, in case of any doubts, please let me know. So for today's class section, we will end the topic here itself. Okay, thank you.